three. Okay, roll call. I've got Alder Steuer is here, Alder Eck, you are here,
Got it.
Alder Campbell is here, and Alder Worthy is excused. We're both, Alder Steuer and Alder Eck are here feeling a little under the weather. We are via Zoom, so we have a quorum. Approval of the agenda. No would
Motion to
accept the
approve.
motion by Eck, seconded by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? That passes unanimously. Approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Eck,
Second.
seconded by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes unanimously. Regular business, consideration with possible action on a request by Club Car Wash LLC to enter into a developer's agreement for the infrastructure required for the Jenny Lane extension. Director.
Okay, you may remember from Common Council a couple of months ago that developer has come in asking to redevelop a couple of parcels up here at University Avenue and Sturgeon Bay Road. So for frame of reference, right here, this parcel on Sturgeon Bay Road, University Avenue, this is the Festival Foods North location.
Right.
Quick Trip here. And this was kind of a strip mall of businesses
Mhm.
that are being torn down for the Club Car Wash. In order for that development to go forward, Jenny Lane needs to be extended down to where the signal is on the old University Avenue alignment. So in speaking with the developer and with their engineer, the time necessary for us to receive a plat, assign an engineer and get the road design completed is longer than they would like. So they are requesting to enter into a developer's agreement, which we typically do on residential subdivisions, to have the infrastructure completed. They will pay for all the improvements. They're going to get assessed for them anyway. So we're simply requesting approval from the committee and the council to enter into the developer's agreement for the construction of that, the infrastructure necessary to support that development.
So
Okay, are we looking at this for later this year, early next year? Any idea?
Definitely this year.
Okay. All right.
is the city paying for the street then?
No, actually, the developer winds up paying for it.
Sewer, everything?
Yes,
Well, it's almost, you would
All
almost
right.
have some kind of anything anyway, right?
well, and that's for those of you who've not been part of the council for very long. When we pass our annual assessment rates in December or January, the reason that a type A street, so a type A street is a street that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
So it could be through a farm field or here. The reason the assessment rates on that new street and the assessment rates for the sanitary storm and water are as high as they are is because, but for that development, the city would have no need to build that infrastructure.
Right.
So that first time something gets built, the first time we put sewer in the ground, the first time we build a road, that cost gets distributed to the properties adjacent to it that benefit from it. Then after that, after the first build, if we have to update that sewer, if the sewer's crumbling and we got to replace it, then it becomes a system cost and we don't assess for that.
Oh.
Hmm.
So they carry it for longevity then?
Well, the initial build is directly because the properties adjacent to are requesting it, where it wasn't necessary before, so they pay the first cost. And then it becomes a system asset and we just put it into the bucket and pay for it out of the bucket.
Good.
So can you bring that?
All right.
up?
Sure.
Alder
I
Eck?
have a question. Are the property owners on Jenny Lane on the other side, because that's a residential street, have they already been talked to and had that neighborhood meeting and all that, and they're okay with it?
That would have been something that came up before we approved that club car wash several months ago at common council.
Okay, all right,
That would have been part of the planning effort. Now, what we're dealing with tonight is simply the infrastructure necessary to support, so the road and any sewer or water work that needs to be done. So that those meetings would have occurred when redevelopment of the parcel was being contemplated through plan commission.
This is an old picture.
okay.
Well,
Yes.
Steve,
Yeah.
Steve, I
So,
was wondering, this is gonna be hard. I don't know if I can raise my hand. I was just wondering on this car wash, the fact is that before you had the strip mall and you had different entrances into the place. Now you're looking at extending the road. Is that because the use will be more intense or what?
No, we need to have road frontage for a valid parcel. So they can't subdivide it without having street frontage. Otherwise,
Oh, okay,
locked parcel.
okay,
So where the car wash is going to go up here won't have street frontage unless we bring a street in
isn't it,
here.
isn't it the corner part?
Right now, this current parcel has a driveway. They have street frontage on Jenny Lane. And they have a lot of frontage here on University. But after it gets subdivided, you're too close to the intersection to get direct access here. This is the on-ramp to I-43, so we can't give them
Mhm.
access there.
Right.
So we need to get a road in here so that all three of the resulting parcels would have appropriate frontages.
okay.
I make a motion to pass,
Oh,
to approve.
Alder Campbell.
How come, yeah, how come,
Oh.
since my district here, I just wanna know what's going on here. So that driveway exists and that driveway exists, I know that, I've been down there.
Yep.
And so I see it's Club Car Wash, do you know what they're planning on putting on the corner here?
There's gonna wind up being a total of 3 parcels in there.
Yeah, I see them, 1, 2, 3, you can make them out there in the.
Well, that's what exists today.
Okay.
That they're gonna redo it, replat it. And have 3 new parcels when
Right.
they're done. And all they've told us right now is the car wash. So I think they, as a developer, are looking for people to
Okay.
develop on the other 2. And the expectation would be something similar to, like up here, there's a cell phone store,
Yeah,
like a Verizon store or something like that, or
Yeah.
a Cellcom, or,
used to be a bike store.
okay, things of that nature,
Mhm.
I think is what they're looking at the other 2 parcels that will end up being out there.
Well, those businesses that were taken out, I remember you remember that, Melinda? And
Yes, I do.
yeah, it was a sad story because,
No
they've been.
lease and,
Yeah,
yeah,
they had no lease, so that was the issue that they had to deal with. So are any of those businesses, and does anybody know if they might want to go back into this, or that's another topic? We
Is it-
probably,
First
that's
visit,
another,
No,
it changed hands, I think, yeah.
yeah, the
What
owner,
I-
that's why the owner.
Yeah.
There were no leases out there, so he had to get the tenants out so that he could sell it to Club Car Wash.
Yeah, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to, or,
Right,
if the leases or whatever. Yeah, I know the owner, old owner, so. That was almost a hard one, like now that I know, I'd almost have to pull myself away from it because I know them people. you
Right.
know? So anyway, well, that's.
well,
that-
we have a motion. Do
Okay.
we have a second?
Second,
It's seconded by Campbell, originally by Eck. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
I,
Aye, all opposed? That passes unanimously.
that's going what,
What's
I-
that?
commercial.
commercial, okay.
Okay. All right, I gotta get back to the agenda here. Oh, okay. Number 2, consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to award the mudjacking services contract to Badger Concrete Lifting LLC for 2023 in the amount of $47,547.50, with the option of 4 one-year extensions for 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. Director.
So we do this every 5 years. We go out, the mud jacking contract is used citywide as needed in various locations. So if they're under our pavement repair contract, if we find a piece of concrete roadway that has settled that might benefit from mud jacking, some limited mud jacking on curb and gutter to correct drainage issues, things of that nature. Rather than tear it out and reconstruct it, if we can mud jack it and bring it back into compliance and make drainage work, we would rather do that because obviously it's a lot less expensive. So every 5 years we go out, entertain quotes from area mud jacking companies, and then select the low cost vendor. We come back and we get approval on a 1-year contract, and rather than having to bid it every year, we get the option to get 1-year extensions for a total of 5 years on the contract. So then in 2024, we would go back and approach this vendor and ask what their cost increase is. If that cost increase is acceptable, we would extend that contract with them. So what?
Steve? Oh.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. No, I said the one question I had on this is that, okay, it's a set number, but depending on how many jobs there are, does that affect the cost in any way?
It doesn't affect the cost, it will affect the total expenditure. So what we have is we have to put quantities in so that the contractor has something to bid with. But those contract quantities that are in the bid here are an estimate. And it can go up or down based on city need. Typically, we don't go up. We'll go up dollar value, but that's about all the money we have set aside for this. So we
Right. If there's a case where it does go up, would it come back to this committee or to finance?
Well, they have to hold, they're required as a condition of the contract to hold the pricing. for-
Okay,
They get an opportunity to adjust their pricing for next year.
okay. All right, thank you.
And all the-
Anybody else? Steve?
Yeah, I press the button.
Yeah,
So is this pretty common to use it? I mean, do you use it a lot?
No, I
So you
wouldn't
kind of
say,
have a basis of what you kind of need?
yes,
here? That's what-
it's something we have consistently used for a number of
So we
years.
got an idea.
Staff knows where and when it's applicable. It's not a real common thing, but it's a nice tool to have in the box when it's needed.
Quick to not create traffic down and
Right.
such like that, because it's just a drill hole. And is there ever anything that they say, can't guarantee we can make it work?
Oh, they will tell us quite often that they can't guarantee it. So a lot of times if we're doing something, especially to correct a small drainage issue, they'll tell us, we're gonna do our best and we'll go in there and mud jack it. Sometimes it takes care of it, sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then we have to go and rip it out and redo it anyway, but at least you tried at the lowest cost way for it.
So it's a specialized company, or is it jobbed out from a bigger company that you already work with?
No, we have been using Badger I've been with the city for 15 years, and for as long as I've been here, Badger has been the vendor.
Okay.
So we're very comfortable with them.
Make a
okay.
motion.
Anybody, a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept it.
Okay, by Campbell, do we have a second? Alder Eck?
I'll just, she froze up.
I suppose I could second if need be.
I told her to get some rest. She's
Yeah. I'll second.
I'm seconding it.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
You
Yeah.
froze up.
Stupid internet.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's it, I'm
Not
unmuting my phone.
Oh.
This is enjoyable. Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
passes unanimously.
This just supports the fact of being in person, just saying.
Hey, listen,
I
I'd
got-
rather be there, you know that, we both would. All right, number
For
3.
sure.
Consideration with possible action or request by Department of Public Works to award the contaminated soil hauling disposal and mobilization contract to Peters Concrete Company in the amount of $308,975,000. Director,
So during the course of preparation of our capital improvement program, with the streets that are included in the program, we oftentimes know of the presence of, especially petroleum contamination that may be existing within the public right of way that we're going to encounter during that project. So we have to have a vendor selected that if we do encounter petroleum contaminated soils, that we can excavate those soils, stockpile them, test them, arrange for landfilling of it, and then have a vendor ready to haul those away. So again, we bid this service out for many, many years. We prepared a specification with the estimated numbers of tons of contaminated soil to be hauled away. We bid that out. There were 3 vendors that responded. Peters Concrete, Best Enterprises, and Express Excavating. Bid summaries have been included for you in your packet. The low responsive bidder was Peters Concrete in the amount of $308,975. Peters is a good, reputable local contractor. We've had excellent success with them in the past. So staff does recommend award of that contract.
okay. Any questions, committee?
No,
None from me. Motion to approve.
second,
Motion by X, seconded by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, that passes unanimously. And again, this goes to city council.
Right.
And somebody please give me the date for that, the next council meeting.
I think it's the 18th. 18th.
April 8th? No, April 11th, I believe.
18.
18th, April 18th, thank you. Okay,
Yeah, it would have been April 4th.
No,
right, right,
The elections,
okay,
committee meetings.
Say
all right. Number 4. Consideration with possible action on a request by Department of Public Works to expend $43,895.59 to replace a failed road grader transmission using budgeted Department of Public Works equipment repair account funding. Director,
As I'm sure you're not too surprised by, our graders have been getting workout over the last several weeks. And we have one grader that the transmission failed in. Staff went out to Brooks Tractor and obtained a quote for repair of that piece of equipment. We've included a copy of that repair quote in your packet for you. Because that expenditure is more than $25,000, we do need council approval to make that expenditure. Staff does recommend awarding this contract to Brooks Tractor, and we do need that piece of equipment back as soon as we can get it.
motion approved.
Motion by
Can I ask a
Campbell.
question?
yes,
Okay. Is this something that is in your budget? Maybe you said that already, but
It is, that we have that right in the agenda item that indicates it's coming out of our equipment repair account.
oh, okay, sorry. I'm trying to switch between
Oh,
between screens here. So, okay, thank you. And I will second the motion.
okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes unanimously. Looks like you're on the sales floor there, Melinda. That's fine. That's good.
Oh, with my phone on? Yeah, because
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're fine. You're good. You're doing well. All right, number 5, consideration with possible action to approve and accept the additional rights of way required for the reconstruction of School Place to Oak Street along 13th Avenue. School Place to Oak Street to 13th Avenue. Director,
Okay, School Place was constructed on a very, very narrow right of way. And the road itself is actually somewhat unbalanced within the way. So with the reconstruction of School Place this year, we have found a need to acquire small pieces of right of way on the north side of the street between Oak and 13. So included in your packet are individual location maps showing the there's a waiver of appraisal and recommendation of, an approval with a cost estimate or a cost of that acquisition. Signed by each of the each of the property owners that we're acquiring from. And then a map of the parcel showing the piece of right of way that we're purchasing. And primarily what we're doing is we're buying that right of way. So that we have room to get the curb and gutter in and rebuild the sidewalk that exists out there today. So all of these are what we refer to as nominal takes. They run about $1,400 per parcel. And without the acquisition of those rights of way, we would not be able to reconstruct School Place. So staff does recommend approval on these.
Director or Steve, I've got one quick question here. You've got 8 different properties, 8 different parcels.
Yep.
Are being purchased, and I looked along that stretch of road and there's 6 more properties that are along there that weren't listed, and I presume maybe that those were already purchased?
Didn't get signatures yet.
We don't have the signatures yet, but rather
Okay,
than till the end, we're bringing them in as we get them.
so you're not gonna do anything until they're all there, because there's 6 more properties along that stretch
Correct.
that I saw. Okay.
Yes.
All right, we'll just wait until that's all finished. Are you presuming that may take this year, hopefully?
Oh, that is a 2023 construction project, yes.
Okay. All right, well, good luck with that. Committee, any questions?
Is there a problem with the last, or you just think it?
It winds up being just a scheduling issue because a lot of times our right of way specialist has to go and do this after, a lot of people work. So he's not able to get in touch with them until after hours and just coordinating schedules for him to go and do that.
Okay.
It works out nice because he actually lives in this neighborhood
Oh,
and he knows all these folks, so he just walks around the corner when he's got the opportunity.
We know that guy, Mr. Geezy. Anyway, that's great. Well, do we have anything
Motion
else?
to-
Other
Oh, sorry.
motion by Eck to approve,
second,
seconded by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. That passes unanimously. All right. Can we get back to the agenda here? For some reason, I can't. Working on it. Hold on.
I can read it if you want.
Okay, are we on 5 now? Or, nope, we're on 6. Consideration with possible action to approve and accept the additional rights of way required for the construction of sidewalks on North Huron Road at Watercrest Drive. Director.
Okay, a couple of years ago, former Alder Dorf brought forward a communication requesting that sidewalks be installed on the east side of North Huron Road between Humboldt Road and the 54-57 interchange. This is part of that project, so if you're familiar with that part of town, Humboldt at Huron is, the Quick Trip is on the east side of the street and Fire Station 7 is on the west side. So as you head north from the Quick Trip, you sort of drop down into a little bit of a dip there. And at the bottom of that dip is where Watercrest Drive is. That's what you're seeing on the graphic we provided in the packet. On the northeast corner of Watercrest and North Huron Road, where the right of way is versus where the radius of the street is, part of that curb ramp that exists already is actually built on the private property. So in order to get that sidewalk on public right of way, we're acquiring a very small piece of right of way there, approximately 3.5 or 60 square feet for $300. Again, this is what we would refer to as a nominal pay. And what it does is ensures that we have public sidewalk in the public, not on private property.
Okay. Committee?
Didn't we also had something last time on this, right? Or was this a different part of the?
This is just a small portion of that entire project, I believe.
Correct. This is the only place where we would have walk that's outside of the existing right of way.
Okay, committee? Any motions?
I see.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Eck,
Second.
seconded by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye,
Aye.
that passes unanimously. All right, number 7, consideration with possible action to approve and accept the additional rights of way required for the reconstruction of South Maple Avenue from 8th Street to the north terminus. Director.
During the last several meetings, we've had some discussions relative to this South Maple project and where we're gonna be putting a cul-de-sac in on the north end of the project. What we had discussed with you is, it's kind of a unique little situation where the railroad has a curve in the track that comes down and eventually runs parallel with Ashland Avenue. And it kind of cuts off the north end of North Maple Street there. So we're gonna put a cul-de-sac in, and even with the best effort that we can put forward, we found that there's going to be a very small intrusion or an encumbrance on that railroad right of way. So within the packet, we've shown you where the cul-de-sac will fit in, but in order to provide adequate driveway access for the northernmost residential property there needs to be an easement between ourselves and the Canadian National Railroad. Canadian National doing business as Wisconsin Central Limited.
Yep.
So again, we've included a graphic that shows a proposed permanent limited easement. So as the name implies, the easement becomes permanent, but it's very limited in nature. It's for transportation purposes only. So it's a permanent limited easement of 352 square feet that will provide road and driveway access to that parcel 1-834.
And that's only because just the way it's set up, that the vehicles would need that room to back up or pull in, I suppose.
That is correct.
Okay,
Also, it would be a requirement for us so that we can provide snow plowing and garbage service for that.
okay. All right. And then we also voted on that road last time too, correct?
Yes,
So, okay.
Alder Campbell has a,
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the swooping in there, is that, well, that's ash, so that's an old railroad grade,
that's an active railroad.
active railroad grade.
So if you travel north on Ashland Avenue,
Yeah, I can
just
see
north
that.
of 9, that rail curves and goes over towards Broadway.
Ford Road.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, they got the northeast, so.
Hmm.
Okay. All right.
Well-
I get it.
Okay, any other questions? I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Eck, seconded by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously. Number 8, report of actions taken by Department of Public Works. Director, you took a nice week off. I know you said you had an issue down there, but we had a little bit of a snowstorm.
I heard that.
That was amazing. I mean, I know everybody was talking about 3 to 4 inches and we ended up with 13. So what happened to those computers?
I don't know, but I was glad I wasn't here for it.
I didn't take too many phone calls. I think people, when are you gonna do it? And I was trying to explain, they do the major routes, but it was a weekend too. So I don't know what normally happens in a case like that when you're not as fully staffed, et cetera. How do you handle, how is that handled generally?
Let's take that under the director's report.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, go ahead with your actions by Public Works.
Taken by the Department of Public Works, we're simply reporting out to the committee that we have granted sidewalk builders licenses to Carouse Construction, Concrete Solutions, Carter Trucking and Excavating, and Larry Van Wright Trucking and Excavating.
Okay,
These
I
companies,
didn't read that correctly. Thank you for correcting me.
that's fine. If you wish to do it like this in the future, I'm happy to do it.
No, I just didn't keep reading, so.
All 4 of these have held licenses with us in the past, so staff had no problem making those awards.
Okay, so this is just to report out.
Received
That's
license-
report. Okay, motion to receive and place on file by the committee.
So moved.
by Eck. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Campbell. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that passes unanimously. All right, informational director's report on the recent activities for the Public Works Department. Now I can say yippee. Go ahead, Director.
So as we were earlier discussing with the snow event that we had, I think what may have happened, because this is traditionally, this was spring break week for the Green Bay area public school districts. We did have a lot of staff that had previously approved vacation time. And we don't typically expect a big snowstorm like this at this point in March. So this was an oddity. However, what that meant was we were approximately 50% staff when that snowstorm hit. So we only had about 40 people on the street when we normally have over 80.
Would you take your staff with you?
So it did take a lot longer to get through the city, both because of the number of staff that we had, but also the fact that we had, you know, over where I am on the east side, my neighbors were reporting 15.
Yeah.
So it was 15 inches of wet, heavy, sloppy snow, which is not easy to plow either. It definitely made for some slow going, but I'll tell you that by the time I got back to the area on Sunday at about 3 o'clock, I was amazed at how good everything looked.
So,
Yeah, I just told people to be patient, you know, like anything else. It was the weekend and, you know, kudos to your crew for getting it done.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
and I think it was enough that people, it was a Sunday, so they weren't going to work, and that helped a lot.
Right. No,
Yes.
I agree with that. I think
There was a lot of people out.
I think staff did a great job, and the duration of the snow didn't help either. I mean, it just kept snowing and snowing and snowing all day long.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I mean, the band of snow just stayed in the same spot, and on either side of it, it was 1 to 3 inches. And
Right.
that, the one in the middle just stayed there. Isn't the wind supposed to push that? I don't know. I guess not.
Wasn't,
Oh, well.
man, it was just held there.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there, anything else?
Just to add to the snowstorm there, they called it Alder Grant, and even the weatherman, when he was on whatever channel, it's like, I guess we just got a report that we gotta name this as a snowstorm now. So I called Alder Grant, and she put a little thing out there. It's like, yep, when we come in hot, and we over welcome our stay. It was really funny.
There you go. Anything else, Director?
Oh, that's it for the director's report.
Okay, do we need to receive and place that on file?
Make a motion.
Motion,
Okay,
Second.
motion by X, seconded by Campbell. All in favor, please say aye.
or the opposite.
Oh,
Aye.
yeah, the aye, okay. The next improvement and services meeting is scheduled for April 12th, 2023. We're not gonna really adjourn, are we? Because we have a public hearing at 6 PM, correct?
What we're going to do is we're going to stop the recording and we'll put the meeting into abeyance until 6 PM.
So we can just come back in at 6.
Correct. We'll reconvene. We're taking a recess until 6 PM.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you all then.
We are good.
Okay,
They're separate.
welcome back to a public hearing, 6 PM for improvement and services. We are talking about asphalt pavement. We're talking about Burner Street, North Irwin, Burner Street from North Irwin to North Webster. Need I ask about if there are folks here for this?
Well, we can do that after we read in the engineer's report.
All right, well, go ahead, Director.
Okay, engineer's report for the public hearing on March 29th, 2023. In accordance with state statute 66.0703, this public hearing is being held to levy assessments for proposed pavement improvements, which are included in the 2023 capital improvement program. All of the projects being considered tonight will be included in contracts administered by the City of Green Bay Department of Public Works Engineering Division. All of the proposed assessments are being levied in accordance with the city's assessment ordinance. During construction, The contractor is required to provide access to businesses at all times and residences as much as practical. When a residential driveway is inaccessible, property owners or tenants can receive permission to park on adjoining streets. Problems during construction should be brought to the attention of the Department of Public Works Engineering Division by calling 448-3100. Asphalt pavement. Berner Street from North Urban Avenue to North Webster Avenue is classified as a local road in a residentially zoned area. The existing concrete is an urban road section in poor condition and is in need of reconstruction. Berner Street will be reconstructed with an asphalt pavement with curb and gutter over a gravel base and a typical clear width of 34 feet. The 2023 assessment rate for asphalt pavement reconstruction is $56.90 per front foot for commercial zoned or used properties. The estimated cost of pavement construction is $840,000. Sanitary sewer, storm sewer, and water main rehabilitation and construction will be performed prior to pavement reconstruction. The estimated cost of the sanitary sewer, storm sewer, and water main is $310,000, $475,000, and $530,000 respectively. No assessments will be levied for the sanitary sewer, storm sewer, and water main improvements. And that concludes the report.
Okay. Is there anybody here for this issue?
One,
Is there anybody here for this issue?
second,
Is there anybody here for this issue?
and there is nobody that responded.
Okay, so let it be heard that nobody was here for that, and that concludes our public hearing.
Correct.
Do we have to make a
Okay.
motion?
Yes,
Close it?
no,
Go ahead.
Make a motion?
public hearing automatically closes after the third,
Yeah, we don't have to do anything with that, right? That's it.
Just a motion to adjourn?
well, now
Yes.
we'd have to have a motion to order the improvements constructed and any assessments levied.
Okay.
So moved.
Call the rec.
Oh,
Motion.
Question.
Got a question? Mr. Campbell.
My district. So.
My district.
you have-
Mine.
I'm- So, two questions. Was it my job? Letters were sent out,
Letters were sent to all affected property owners.
nobody called me.
Okay.
Is it my job to go out and tell them to come to this?
No,
Okay,
that's why we send the certified letters.
should I or can I? on
You
something like
can.
this?
You can. Prior to this, we also held a public information meeting where folks can come in and ask questions about the
Okay.
project. I don't know that we had a lot of attendance at that.
Okay, it's just a learning process here.
Yep.
So the 5690. For commercial,
Correct.
what is the rate then? For, and was that sent out to the residents?
Yep.
So what's the residents saying?
No, the residents' assessments are being covered by wheel tax.
No wonder no one's here.
Correct.
Yep, right, that's one reason.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
can I say that I did that? No. Can we just
Count
take,
the miles.
can we just collect, can I collect all the tires in the neighborhood and? We should have some way to assess all the. 'cause there's a lot of tires.
Okay,
I'm just.
are we good? Are we good here?
Not fun with you guys not here. God, you're kind of.
Yeah, I know. I
You're-
can't see your,
You're
I can see your
whispering.
body, but I can't see your facial expressions.
He was whispering.
Was he?
His inner alders,
We're having fun without you.
Okay,
he's
That's
Can't
fine.
help it.
not Alder Campbell, he's Alder Scannell at this point.
Ow.
oh,
Oh, that's it. I make a motion. to adjourn.
you made the motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Well, we
I'll
gotta.
second.
No, we
Oh.
gotta still, okay, go ahead. Let's make that motion about the assessments or. Go ahead, Steve. Why don't you lay it out on
I
us
think I
again?
said so moved, didn't I? Yeah.
I know.
So moved by Eck. Do we have a second?
Second.
second by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
I,
Aye, all opposed? Okay, now we can move to H.
Yes,
Alder Eck. Motion
Oh.
to,
motion to adjourn?
by Eck. Do we have a second?
Second,
Second by Campbell. All in favor, please say aye.
I
Aye.
hope you
We
guys,
promise we'll be there next time, Campbell.
right.
Yes.
I'll you to it. I hope you guys feel better tomorrow.
Oh, we will. We will.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your patience.